Hello, welcome. Haven't seen many of you since yesterday. Welcome to the special administrative meeting on Wednesday, December 14th, 2022. I call this meeting to order. I will have a moment of silent invocation with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by Commissioner Piscotti.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thanks all for taking time out of your day and week for this special meeting. We will, for today's agenda, we'll be doing first public comment. Folks will have 2 minutes to be able to give their public comment. And then we will move on to candidates' comments and then on to approval. And that'll be our meeting for today. So Julianne, do we have people sign up for public comment? Any further instructions? If I was wrong, correct me and call the first few names, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Surprisingly, we did not have anyone sign up for public comment for this meeting.
Okay. Well, great. I will take the moment to read out that while we don't have public comment, we did receive lots of emails and in support of candidates. We usually, since I've been here, at least it's been a tradition to break them down. My staff has been counting them. Hopefully we got them right, or maybe I missed some from that weren't sent to me. But in my to my office, we received a total of 59 letters and messages in support for candidates for HD 16, 29 in support of Lancena, 26 in support of Marcela Durarte, 2 in support of David Burke, and 1 in support of Pete Zollander, and 1 in support of Flor Yanira Gurola Valenzuela. So thank you. I always love to just name the civic engagement and people getting involved. So thank you to all who sent in letters in this time when you're not able to vote, but you can fill in your perspective. So thank you. We will move now to candidates' comments. Julianne, can you please share instructions and call up candidates?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So we will be calling candidates in order, alphabetical order by last name. We'll start with Mr. David Burke. And for applicants that are on, I am adding you as a panelist. So when you receive the request, if you can please accept it. So we will start with David Burke, followed by Marcela Duarte, followed by Flor Yarina Gorola Valenzuela.
Go ahead, Mr. David Burke. Welcome.
I think he's still trying to add as a panelist. No worries. Okay. Just let him connect his audio.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Burke.
Good morning. You have 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Madam Chair, fellow commissioners. My name is David Burke, and I am seeking to fill the District 16 House seat as an independent that will caucus with the Democrats. As co-founder of Serenity Mesa Youth Recovery Center and board president of NAMI Albuquerque, I get to see on a daily basis people who suffer from substance abuse and mental health issues. I talk to families and friends of those who suffer and hear the frustration in finding services and the despair in knowing without help their loved ones will likely end up on the streets, in jail, or dead. If appointed, I will fight for more services like mental health group homes, substance abuse treatment centers, youth services and housing, sex traffic center for youth, housing for those experiencing homelessness, mobile medication centers, and crisis intervention training for all first responders and those who deal directly with this underserved population. As a small business owner and lifetime resident of Albuquerque, I hear, see, and experience my own fear, anxiety, anger, and frustration with rising crime. Feeling safe in your own home and business is a fundamental right, and holding drug traffickers, violent offenders, and sexual predators to account is a must. I will fight for stiffer penalties for those who choose to harm others and especially our most vulnerable. I will fight for treatment for low-level offenders with substance abuse and mental health issues. Incarceration will not work without treatment. Substance abuse, mental health, and drugs go hand in hand with crime, and if we can't stop the drugs pouring over our borders, I fear more New Mexicans will die, more New Mexicans will suffer from high crime rates, and more New Mexicans will live in fear. I will fight to bring more businesses to the west side. There are many shopping centers with open space and some that are in disrepair and need to be demolished so new businesses can come in. I will fight to maintain west side roads, widen Paseo and Unser, and work with the Department of Transportation to make Coors a safer road to travel on. In closing, I would like to quote President Roosevelt. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. Credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, and finds himself worthy, who at the best knows in the end triumph of achievement, and at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burke. Thank you for being the first to go. Just so folks remember, we will give a reminder and I'll let you finish your statement and then, but we can't go too far over. Thank you, everyone.
Marcela Duarte, you have 2 minutes.
Good morning, Madam Chair, County Commissioners. My name is Marcela Duarte, and I am a resident of House District 16 and have been my entire life. I actually live in my childhood home. I am here today asking for your consideration because I believe that I can make significant contributions to my community as a House member. I teach kindergarten at Susie Reyes Mormon Elementary, the same school that I attended. Many of my students are lacking in the basic essentials to be successful in school. The parents I've met are hardworking, love their kids, and sometimes struggle to keep food on the table. I am working with my community to improve outcomes for all of us. I volunteer with the Northwest Community Police Council and was recently elected vice chair. Our neighborhood should be safe, and I am doing my part with APD to make that a reality. I understand that representation in Santa Fe is pivotal to any successes in my community. I have worked at the legislature as a committee secretary and a legislative aide. This experience has provided me with insight into the legislative process. It is one that I honor, understand, and have complete confidence in my ability to represent House District 16. My priorities given the opportunity would be education, child welfare, and community safety. I have the support of my family and many members of my Westside community. I hope that my letters resonate with you. Thank you so much for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Durante.
Next, we have Ms. Flor, though I do not see her on the line, so we'll move on to, let's see, Len Sena. And just for the record, Flor is not on, and Mr. Michael Hernandez. Go ahead.
She's on as Yanira Gurola at the very bottom of the participants.
Thank you.
Sorry, so we'll go to her before Len. Sorry, Ms. Sena.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Sorry, I go by my middle name. My first name is Flor, but I've been called all my life Yanira. I blame it on my parents because of how I was raised. Thank you so much for finding me in the list. Again, I'm Yanira Gurrola, Flor Gurrola Valenzuela. I have a huge name. But you can call me Yanira Gurrola, it's good. It's an honor to be here, Chair Barboa, Vice Chair Benson, Commissioner O'Malley, Commissioner Quesada, and Commissioner Vice Curry. Please correct. I hope I pronounce it correctly.
Thank you for trying.
I have lived in the district for the last 16 years. I'm an immigrant from Mexico who is passionate about education. Education made me immigrate here and stay in this beautiful county, country, state, everything here. I'm the oldest of 3 siblings. My family has always trusted that education is a way to change our community, our society. That's what my dad always say. My papa is here. And he always say that that's the best tool that we have. My first degree is electronic industrial engineer, and I work in that industry my first years of in my career. Then somebody put in my head that I can serve my community better as a woman, as a Hispanic woman, immigrant woman, be a role model for other girls, especially other girls in this area. So that put something in my head, and somebody last week put the same little seed in my head about how can, with this experience and with my life experience, and could also be an influence for other people around me, and I felt really honored, and I'm very, very honored to be considered in this role and in this place. I have worked in this community for in education mostly for 22 years, but as any teacher will know, education is not just in the classroom. We touch the life of our students in their families, in the community. And I was talking to somebody this morning.
And that's time.
Just the last sentence. There is no way that we can serve our community without considering all the factors: food, health, housing. So I'm very passionate for that. And thank you for the opportunity to talk to me and to listen today.
Going on to Mr. Michael Hernandez, who was not able to join us, and Mr. Jared Langles, who withdrew his application. So we'll go on to Lan Sena.
Madam Chair, honorable members of the commission, my name is Lan Sena from Albuquerque, and I have been fighting for my life and that of others for the last 12 years since being diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. From zero fares for transit, lowering healthcare premiums for small businesses by 10%, and enshrining into our Constitution the right to childcare and a livable wage to childcare workers, I have worked with community to pass legislation at every level of government. I have worked and partnered with members of this commission to uplift our city, county, and state. My proven track record, combined with my New Mexican values, tenacity, experience in appropriating billion-dollar budgets, and the conviction of the power of collective voices, makes me the most qualified candidate for State House District 16. With voters approving Constitutional Amendment 1 and 2 and every bond measure on this ballot, it is by mandate that the people of New Mexico want to see our communities invested. New Mexicans want to see us invest in our greatest assets, our future, our children, our land, water, air, and our families. It is time that we adjust our focus from capital to political will in order to make the bold decisions that are necessary to bring the land of enchantment forward in progress. I have shown that I have the courage and resolve, and by investing in our communities, we can address the economy, public safety, and healthcare. I have the experience to reach across the aisle to come up to common sense solutions to address the root of the cause in uplifting our communities collectively. My experience in policy, effective governing, and billion-dollar budgets has shown that I am efficacious. However, it is my lived experiences and relationships with coalitions, fellow electeds, and working to uplift our people of our state that have made me the courageous force who will continue to fight for all New Mexicans. Since my cancer diagnosis, I have not stopped fighting for my life and for all that call New Mexico home. I will continue this fight for our community,
And that's time.
District 16, and our state, and I ask for your support in the appointment to State Representative of House District 16.
Madam Chair, sorry, you're on mute if you were wanting to say something.
I keep saying thank you after everyone, so
Okay.
just know that. I'll stop interrupting.
No worries. Okay, the last three, Dan Serrano, followed by Bob Woody, followed by Peter Zollinger. Go ahead, Mr. Woody.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
hi.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Serrano. If you're on. Mr. Serrano, I see that you're on. If you can unmute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. I'm figuring out the technology. Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners. My name is Dan Serrano. I was in front of you several weeks ago with respect to the appointment for the State Senate, and I am a resident of District 16. I've been in the district for over 20 years. I've been in this state all my life, obviously. I have been active and proactive in many of the issues that affect the district on the west side. I founded and serve as chairman of the West Side Chamber of Commerce because I promote economic development. I am a strong supporter of small business, family-owned businesses, which I think make up the bulk of our district and our community. I have been a law enforcement officer. I served as a youth coach. I run a nonprofit youth basketball program that's been in existence for 42 years. I'm a strong advocate for economic development, but consistent with that is we need a qualified educated workforce. So I've taken strong positions in trying to advocate creating a qualified educated workforce and promoting abilities for our youth to be able to not only survive, but thrive and want to stay in our communities and come back and serve in different capacities. This position is important because there's a number of issues that we face. New Mexico is historically always ranked at the top of every list that's bad or the bottom of every list that's good, depending on how you want to see it. We have a tendency at times to thank God for Mississippi, but we have opportunities to move forward. And I think with the surplus that we have this year and the coming years ahead, we need to address some critical issues: crime, economic development, dealing with our elderly and the veterans in our state, education, of course, our youth. Water is a big issue that we need to start focusing on. It's been a big issue for years. Have I exhausted my time?
Yes.
Okay, well, I urge your support. I can assure you that I will represent this district to the best of my ability. Thank you.
Mr. Bob Woody?
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair and Commission, for providing me the opportunity to speak and for this position. I've lived on the west side for the past 53 years. Remember moving here when Coors Road was only 2 lanes when my parents registered my brothers at West Mesa High School. I finished school here on the west side. I also raised a family here on the west side. My higher education was at New Mexico State, where I received a degree in history of government. I then received a scholarship at the University of New Mexico for an alternative teaching program. At the time in 1987, they said there was a teacher shortage and we needed to find a fast track way to get teachers. Some things haven't changed. I think that'll be a big thing if I'm in Santa Fe. We need to attract and retain people in the profession, especially in STEM. And I returned back to APS as a teacher at Barcelona Elementary. My principal steered me towards educational administration. From there, I received my license, continued to teach, and became a principal at 5 different elementary schools in the Albuquerque Public Schools. I also taught at one of my colleagues here at school, Susie Reyes-Marmon, and my wife also taught at Susie Reyes. My daughter last year just finished teaching at John Adams. Wonderful experiences at all of the sites. I feel the biggest preparation I have for this position was being Director of Labor Relations for the Albuquerque Public Schools. I was responsible for negotiating and administrating contracts for the 5 largest unions in the state in education. Albuquerque teachers with Ellen Bernstein, AEAA with Kathy Chavez, Yvonne Rodriguez, Secretarial Clerical, and Victor Perea from Maintenance and M&O. Our work was dependent on what the legislature did. We could not start anything until we received their work, and from there we had to implement it, being wages, implementing curriculum. So it was very important. Also working with governmental affairs and the union lobbyists. I learned a great deal and found it very exciting work. I then returned back to the schools.
And that's time.
And I finished up principal. Again, thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Wood.
And then we have Mr. Peter Zollinger. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. Well, what have I done to earn this over the years? Aside from registering people in the district to vote, many times have I walked its streets, the last time being for the Melanie Stansberry special election. So, what am I doing? Admittedly, good part of this is to facilitate my retirement, what's going to be very gradual, from these 43 years I've been doing this. So, the one thing I shall first of all say is that I would not seek retention. And the easiest promise for me to make as the party sergeant at arms in what will definitely be a competitive primary.
Sir, back away from the microphone. You don't need to be that close.
Regardless.
Back it away, please. Perfect.
Regardless of the results of this process, the definite primary, I shall remain rigidly neutral. So, Pete, you might want to say, well, you're one of the two-party functionaries for this. What do you care? Okay, strategically, whoever would win the primary, I don't. This is a safe Democratic seat. But what would I do? Basically, I would just be one of the troops. I would follow our Democratic Party leadership, our legislative leadership. Generally, I hope I could help with Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham's economic program, specifically because of my past personal history securing a woman's right for abortion.
Madam Chair, that concludes candidates' comments. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you to all the candidates. What strength, and I always love these because we get to hear all the strengths and skills and wonderful people that want to serve. And so thank you all for coming, for being courageous and stepping up into this opportunity and giving it a shot. It takes a lot of courage, and I appreciate all of you for bringing your skills and knowledge and your passion to this table. We will, if there's not any questions from commissioners, I can take nominations. Commissioner
Madam
O'Malley.
Chair, thank you. I would like to nominate Yaniri Valenzuela for this remainder of this term. Thank you.
I can second that. I
Madam
would
Chair.
like to nominate Lan Senna.
Second, I will second.
Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Piscotti.
thank you. I'd like to nominate Marcela Duarte.
Great. Do we have a
Madam
second?
Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Quesada.
I'd like to nominate Dan Serrano.
Okay.
I will second that.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I'm sorry, did you call for a second for Marcela
second.
Duarte?
I will second
Okay.
Ms. Duarte.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other? Okay, thank you. And first up, Flor Yanira, the long name Gurala Valenzuela. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner O'Malley,
Yes.
Commissioner Piscotti.
No.
I'm missing. Commissioner Casada,
No.
Vice Chair Benson,
No.
Madam Chair Barboa.
Yes,
So called.
thank you. Next is Lan Senna. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner O'Malley,
Yes.
Commissioner Casada,
No.
Commissioner Piscotti,
No.
Vice Chair Benson,
No.
Madam Chair Barboa.
Yes, enthusiastically. Next is Marcela Durante.
Commissioner O'Malley,
No.
Commissioner Casada,
Yes.
Commissioner Piscotti,
Yes.
Vice Chair Benson,
Yes.
Chairwoman Barboa.
Yes.
So called.
So called. So, Ms. Marcela Durante, congratulations. You have the majority vote. We will, congratulations and thank you again for stepping in to serve your community. This term ends December 31st, but it's always an honor to, 2022, it's always an honor to serve and so important to do so. And thank you. And we will please stay online so that we could talk about swearing in processes. Again, to all the folks who showed up today, thank you for stepping into your courage and power to serve our communities and hope to see you again. Thank you so
Madam
much.
Chair,
Yes.
may I ask, I know that you received two letters from commissioners pursuant to the amendment last night, calling for a special meeting within 10 days.
Commissioner
Of the
Piscotti, that's not on the
resignation.
agenda, so I'm not going to address that today,
Okay.
but we'll be making an announcement soon. Thank you. I did
Okay.
receive your email and I will respond.
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
I think we should vote on that. I think we should vote on having a discussion on that.
No,
That's
it's not in
will.
the agenda, so I will not consider it actually be a violation of the Open Meetings Act. But thank you.
We have point of order though. That's part
Yeah,
of
we're
the
not,
Open Meetings
it's
Act.
not on the agenda, so we are
But we
not.
could still have point of order through the
Well, I'm
Open
not-
Meeting Act.
I'm not influencing that, so.
Madam Chair, may we ask our county attorney, Ken Martinez, if we could vote on that right now?
Yeah, I'm saying it's
Have
not
that
on the
discussion.
agenda, but you can definitely ask the.
Or Julianne? It seems like it would be in line with Robert's rules at this time to have a discussion.
If the question's for
Go ahead,
me,
Ken.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, thank you very much. That is not currently on the agenda as an action item, so it cannot be voted on.
No, we're not voting. We want to have a discussion.
Well, there's no discussion to have because this is a special meeting about this process. Thank you. There's not any other agenda item. There is no other discussion and I'm call this meeting to end. And congratulations, Ms. Marcela Durante.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.